an audible sound of some sort, cheering, clapping, etc., stomping of feet. Who's ready for a little bit of roller derby championship action?
Nah, that wasn't very good for me. I'm sorry. We need that to be a little bit louder. This is the championship match, okay? Are y'all ready for some roller derby? Oh, yes, we're glad you're here.
Good evening. I'm Clofton P. Grudge. I am joined by Gabagool.
Legendary Gabagool drag queen extraordinaire. Yes.
Here to announce with me this evening. This is indeed the championship bout of our season here at the Arizona Derby Dames.
My God.
This is the Runaway Brides, who are going for their 7th championship in a row versus the Coffin Draggers, who have not been to the title game in over 10 years, we have learned. This is the first time the Draggers have been to the title game in quite some time, so they will take a crack at the Brides. Several teams have tried, and many teams have not succeeded recently, so we will see from there.
So we have the underdogs and we have the dogs.
Yes.
Okay.
There it is. The dog, the DAWGs. So, we need to let you know there are a couple of ground rules that you need to know if this is your first time here live at the arena.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing is no whistling from the stands. That's very, very important. Please, no whistling from the stands. That can cause distraction during the game. Our skaters are trained to listen for that sound to stop skating. So, please, no whistling from the stands. The second thing is, in line for the bathroom, skaters take priority. Anybody wearing wheels on their feet gets to take priority for the restrooms during busy times and breaks in the action. We do have 2 outdoor restrooms outside as well that are brought to us by, right behind me here, Roll with Reliable. That is right, reliable portable bathrooms. Anyway, that's you can use those as well. That supplements our indoor restrooms. And then we have the third rule is that yellow line around the track. Make sure you stay behind that yellow line during game action. That is very, very important. That keeps you out of the way of any flying equipment or people coming off the track. We've had people coming off the track in several of our bouts this year, so make sure that you are paying attention. If moving around during game action, stay behind that yellow line.
If a body comes flying at you and you're behind that yellow line, you'll be safe, right? That's the idea. Also, someone with skates coming at you sounds so scary, so please protect yourself, okay? Tonight, we are celebrating women in sports and also our thems. Give it up for women in sports and thems. You all are important in this process, so thank you for being here. Women in sports, women in sports, we need more. Women in sports, women in sports, we need more. Women in sports. I said what I said. Welcome.
So Derby fans, on your way in down there by the ticket booth, by our front entrance, you may have seen our silent auction and raffle table. We've got several great prizes this evening down there. For the silent auction, we have a $300 gift certificate to Lost Dutchman Tattoo.
Ooh.
And a $300 gift certificate to Rhea Riot Tattoo. Those are both down there for the silent auction. For the raffle, there are 4 prizes where you can drop your ticket in the raffle bag to win. The raffle prizes are a $75 gift certificate to Switchblade Salon. That is Strange's salon. Skater Strange, your skater on the Coffin Draggers. The next raffle prize, Tucci's Touch Massage. It's a gift certificate. It's a 60-minute massage with a $100 value. Professional trigger point therapy massage. Number 5 is a Siphon Draw $50 gift box. And the last one is a $50 value Katrina 3-piece art set.
Ooh.
2 on canvas and 1 framed. They said it's very beautiful. You can check it out down there as well. So that's the 4 raffle prizes.
Is that right when you come in?
That's right.
Okay.
Right down there by the ticket booth, where you can also find Raven Sweet Haven. Raven Sweet Haven is down there. Raven's been at several of our bouts and has fantastic food. Sweet Haven, but I always tell people, check out the savory baked goods. The corn muffin, I don't know if you've heard about these, but the muffins are baked in a little flat thing, so they're all muffin top. And then she makes corn muffins that are studded with bacon and cheese.
That's very relatable. Very relatable.
Yeah, you
very
microwave
relatable.
them for like 30 seconds.
Muffin top cornbread sounds delicious.
Yeah. Anyway, that's one of the things down there. Check out Raven Sweet Haven down there as well in the vendor village.
Also, all those local vendors are important to support as well.
All right, Derby fans, with that whistle from the infield, it is time for safety checks. Our regulator crew is down there now performing safety checks, making sure everything is buckled, safe, square, mouth guards are good, etc., etc. And it is a great time for us to introduce you to the third team of every bout, the team that we could not do this without. It is the Regulators.
Thank you so much, Regulators. You all do this for free, and I love it. It's because you love the sport. Thank you so much. Give it up for our head referee tonight, Bender B. Rodriguez.
We've got game executioner as Lollipop.
We also have the front of the pack ref, Ref Boy RD.
Your backpack ref is Infidel Castro.
We have the jam ref, Meryl Streak.
You have your first eye in disguise, Baby Bat.
We have the jam referee, Gigi.
Your second eye in the sky is Siren.
We also have Rosie the Ripper.
And Debris is your second OPR.
Let's not forget Yaz.
And the penalty tracker assistant is Jax to win.
Also penalty box, we have the Lucifer.
Second penalty box, Mad Moxie.
Also Psycho Sis with the whiteboard.
Scoreboard is marked as Siren also.
And our runner tonight is Crystal Ballbuster.
All right. I was going to say, I feel like Retromancer was here, but we'll have to check in on that. Yeah, right. I believe that would be Retromancer on that spot there.
Also, our medics tonight are Nacho Mama and Jimmy.
That is correct. That is, we give it up for our medics every time as well. They keep us legal. It's a full contact sport, so we do need our medics out there on the infield.
We're about ready to get.
We're about ready. Yeah. So the writer first. So I'll do that.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to read it all.
Yeah. Give him some. This is the champion.
Derby fans, let me know one more time who's ready for some championship roller derby action. Taking the track first from the far bench, your six-time defending league champion, Runaway Brides. As mentioned, the Runaway Brides have won 6 straight league titles, 2017, 18, 19, 2022, 23, 24, and are going for number 7 in a row this evening. Skating tonight for the Runaway Brides, number 00, Novocaine. Number D20, D&D's Nuts. Number 25, Nightmare. Number 151, Ash Smash'em. Number 182, Hannibal Lecture. Number 192, Baby. Number 310, Full Metal Anarchist. Number 420, Astro Thought. Number 623, Hollywood. Number 626, Remy Ruckus. Number 925, Evil Twin. Number 1134, Jazzmanian Devil. Number 1981, Sandra Slay O'Connor. Co-captain, number 4, Cherry Kiss. And captain of the Runaway Brides, number 95, Lightning the Queen. Coaches of the Runaway Brides this evening, Troy McClure and Cryptic Callie.
And I have the distinct honor tonight welcoming the first time in over 10 years, the Coffin Draggers to the championship bout. Get on your feet, get on your feet. Yes. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please welcome number 10, Sasquatch. Number 13, Hugs and Stitches. Number 18, Embezzlement. Number 23, Murder Mittens. Number 30, Zora La Bruja. Number 94, Angel of Beth. Number 96, Olive, You Die. Number 300, Dolly Spartan. Number 333, Bed Bugs Bunny. Number 414, Razor Dean.
Foxy Razor
Foxy
Dean.
Razor Dean,
Sorry.
got it. Foxy Razor
Razor
Dean.
Dean.
Give you your moment, honey. You deserve it.
I apologize. That's my fault. I wrote down the phonetic name and I forgot to write Foxy in front of it. Go on.
I got it. No, look, I got it. I got the rest of the team. Number 616, Antifa. 666, Strange. Number 710, Mofasta. let's welcome 1312 Ricky D. Boom. Coming in at 7780, 7,780, Pee Wee Vermin. Also, number boss tonight is Frankenherder. Our coaches tonight are Grantula and Grace Bear.
All right, we are ready. I'm sorry, did you say Grace Bear?
Is it Gray?
It's Gare Bear.
Gare Bear. Wait, let me try that again. Gare Bear.
That's Clopton's handwriting. That's why they don't let me handwrite the rosters for bouts.
Give them their moment. They deserve it.
Absolutely. All right, so we are about ready to go. And there goes that. We are about ready to start this bout. We got the regulators down there on the infield. Let's get a show of hands both here in the arena and in the Twitch chat. Jump in the chat. Chat. Hey. Oh my gosh, chat. Are you seeing this chat?
Hey, Twitch. Hey, Twitch.
Let us know. Show of hands here in the arena. Who is at their first Bank Track Roller Derby bout?
If you've never been to your... Oh my gosh, look at all these hands.
We got some hands down there.
Hello, first timers.
Excellent. Good to see. Good to see. We will go over a little bit of what you can expect, how the scoring works, things like that, penalties, things along those lines as we get ready to go here. They are just getting the GoPro cameras ready.
Don't worry.
We have video review.
We
do have video review.
Don't worry, we got it.
Each team gets a challenge per half. I love to tell people it's like VAR in soccer, but not plagued with grift and bribery. We are ready to go. We have a massive cheer from the crowd.
Derby fans, get on your feet.
First jammer for the Coffin Draggers is number 96, All of You Die. And that's Cherry Kiss right in front of us for the Runaway Brides.
And we're off in the championship bout tonight. Ooh, I'm so excited. The energy is hot in here tonight.
It absolutely is. Cherry Kiss gets out first. Olive is out right behind. You see both jammers are out quickly. Cherry Kiss is in front. She is what you would consider the lead jammer. Olive tried to sneak by on the inside. Cherry Kiss had to signal to call the jam. So, let's introduce you first. Those two skaters that had the stars on their helmets, that's called the jammer.
The jammer with the star on the helmet. Hi, jammers.
That is right. And so those jammers are your point scorers. The trick is you have to get your jammer out, keep theirs in. And then once a jammer makes a circuit of the track and comes around a second time, every skater they pass is a point. That is how the scoring works at its most basic.
Stop them from getting points.
That's right.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, as you see here, now with the action moving down into the first turn, neither team has been able to get their jammer out. We're at 38 seconds left on the jam clock. Now Evil Twin for the Runaway Brides is going to dipsy-do around a couple of blockers. And those last blockers, once you're more than 20 feet beyond the pack, as defined by the regulators, you have to stop blocking, is what you saw there.
You just saw a panty switch right now. Oh my gosh,
did.
I love a panty switch.
So much action here to go over in the first couple of jams. You see Evil Twins swinging through to pick up points for the Runaway Brides. It is 4 points, as we would expect. There is another important thing to tell you again. Oh, now on penalties.
Penalties.
If a penalty is called on a skater on a blocker, that blocker sits in the penalty box and you're down one skater. But if a penalty is assessed to your jammer, that means that your jammer sits, you do not get a jammer, and that is what we call a power jam.
A power jam.
And the Runaway Brides now have that first opportunity here where you can only focus on offense.
They have the advantage.
That is, you have a large advantage at that point. Skater takes a tumble down there, going for a block in the corner. Cherry Kiss is going to get clipped to the infield, pops right up.
Wow.
Blocked again, a bunch of hard blocks down there.
And if they fall into the yellow, they have to get back up where they got off, correct?
That is correct. They got to get up behind the person who knocked them off the track, unless that person falls off as well.
Gotcha.
That is what they got. Yeah, so you can't just jump back on the track. That's a penalty amongst many.
Yes.
So
and they set out one jam, correct, for penalties?
Exactly.
Okay.
One whole jam for a penalty. As you see, The Coffin Draggers now just have to sit and watch the defense.
And she breaks free. Gets her by the whole pack.
The other important thing to point out, if this is your first time watching roller derby, is that the jammer who gets out first can stop the clock if they want to. Obviously, Cherry Kiss has no reason to stop the clock in this jam. But the jammer that gets out first can pick up their points and then stop the clock and prevent the other team from scoring.
Only the lead jammer can stop the clock, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
So that's kind of...
So you get out first, and then you can call it off once you get as many points.
That is correct. And that's why you want to get your jammer out first. So that's everything kind of rammed into 3 jams. If you have any other questions, ask anybody wearing skate gear, skate shirts. Come by and ask us at the announcer's stand during any break. We would be happy to elucidate you on anything you have seen. We hate when people are like, I had a good time, but I didn't know what I saw.
Yeah, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here.
So we're back to it. We are back to a full-strength jam. The Runaway Brides just put 10 points on the board in that power jam, and this is Sandra Slay O'Connor, who is out and clear for the Brides.
The Draggers are going to try to stop the Brides from grabbing some points. How are they going to be able to stop her?
And that's Bedbugs Bunny that is out now for the Coffin Draggers. So back to the pack. Sandy is blocked up well there at the back of the pack by Angel of Beth, and Embezzlement has to call it off.
And it's anybody's match until the very, very end. So
yeah.
The louder you cheer for your team, the louder they are energized on this wonderful day here at the championship bout.
I know. We are at 15-0 at the moment. That was a 1 point for
15?
Sandra Slay O'Connor, getting by
1
one
point.
skater at the back of the
Point's
pack.
a point.
It is. Every point will be important here today. That is Evil Twin for the Runaway Brides. And Dolly Spartan for the Coffin Draggers. Dolly's got the star off, so has the opportunity to pass it. The jammer can hand the star to that skater with the stripe on their helmet.
Only that one.
Yep, who's known as the pivot for that reason.
The pivot. But they have to pass backwards, correct?
They can pass it forwards.
Oh, they can? Okay.
They just can't skate backwards.
Oh, you just can't skate backwards.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So now at the back of the pack, Evil Twin just got blocked off hard and then had to wait for those blockers for the Coffin Draggers to pass her by. And out the front of the pack now goes Dolly Spartan. And Dolly is going to try to force the call off here. Dolly up to the pack, runs into Evil Twin at the back of the pack. Evil Twin appears to have lost the star.
Oh, what?
It would look like, so yeah, Evil Twin could not call the jam. You have to have the star on to call the jam off. And I did not see where it went. If she just had it in her hand and had not put it back on,
I didn't see it
either
either.
way, she could not call the jam off. So the Coffin Draggers get points. Coffin Draggers have 3 points.
Okay, 3 points on the board for the Coffin Draggers.
And the defense was stout. Anybody that Evil Twin may have gotten a hip in front of was done while she did not have the star on. Now, down at the front of the pack, jamming for the Coffin Draggers is Hugs and Stitches. Tried to run right through a block by Hollywood, and they both tumble off the track. That means Hugs and Stitches gets to go on around and is your lead jammer for the Coffin Draggers. First time Coffin Draggers have had lead jam.
Here they go. They're going to try to score some points. Can they get around the pack? Oh, Coffin Draggers go down.
Pack slows down right in front of us, and Hugs and Stitches will call it off after getting up. Listening from the infield, I did hear a block that was
an illegal block?
Yeah, an illegal block called on Hollywood.
Oh.
And a couple of penalties there we see. So, looks like we're going to have a timeout taking place. We got an official timeout. So, was waiting to see before we brought you those next jammers. So, that's our first timeout of the game. Right now we are 8:18 to go in the first quarter.
And I'm going to ask you a random women's in sports trivia and see if you know the answer. Is that okay?
Sounds good.
Do you know the year 1967? Good times, right?
Yeah, right. Good times. I was going to say.
Catherine Switzer, runner of the Boston Marathon, despite it being men only, a race officially tried to drag her off the course. Photos went global. Oh, it's not a question. Okay, I'm just going to tell you a fact.
No, but
okay.
I know what you're talking about. It's a very famous.
Yeah, tell us about it.
She dressed up and kept her hair in descript, and the Boston Marathon was only open to men, and she joined it and ran like guerrilla style.
Did she win?
Did not, but basically it was quite the thing. And there's a photo of this dude in a coat trying to pull her off the course. It's a wild picture.
She Mulan them? Okay, that's awesome.
She just kept going. It was wild. It's a great story. I knew when you said Catherine Switzer, I'm like, I know this one. That's Cherry Kiss for the Runaway Brides. Quickly out after that official timeout. Brides springing back to action. And now your jammer for the Draggers is out as well to try to keep this to one scoring attempt for Cherry Kiss. That's all of you die once again for the Coffin Draggers. And Cherry blocked up again at the back of the pack by that Coffin Draggers defense.
Just stopped. The Draggers are stopping them.
The Draggers are absolutely playing very stout defense, especially there on the back of the pack. They've only had lead jam once, but they've made it count, and they scored points on a jam they weren't even lead on.
Yeah. So having a strong jammer to get those points and move and maneuver around the pack, and also a good pack to stop the other jammer from scoring points is so important in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. It really is. It's I tell people it's like football on skates or, hockey on wheels, something along those lines. But you're playing, look at that, back of the pack, big block, and that's Lightning the Queen taking off. Pivot stripe is on, and we'll be putting that star on momentarily, or be trying to. It's never a sure thing, as we say, pulling that star cover on your helmet. Taking off now is your jammer for the Coffin Draggers, Bedbugs Bunny. Lightning the Queen finishes the scoring pass and calls it off. Coffin Draggers did good work there to get their jammer out. They only had 2 blockers. There was 2 blockers parked in the penalty box. So good solid work by those 2 blockers to get that jammer out and keep that to one scoring pass.
Absolutely.
Be about 6.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. It's 22-5 Runaway Brides at the moment. This is Dolly Spartan for the Coffin Draggers. Cherry Kiss for the Runaway Brides.
Do you want us to do all these?
And there's a star pass down into the corner, taking a tumble, then getting up and going on as your pivot for the Coffin Draggers, now taking over as jammer. And that is Murder Mittens, number 23. Cherry Kiss had briefly dropped the star, picked it up. Yeah, picked it up and is now taking off. Now turns around to watch to try to play defense. Now goes on with the star and decides to go on around the track. Coffin Draggers are now trying to clear some space and get their jammer through. Murder Mittens mid-pack gets knocked down. Big tangle up. Several skaters down.
Goes down.
Murder Mittens calls it off. So a lot of action going on in all these jams so far. A lot of star passes, things along those lines. We've got another official timeout, so we'll take a stoppage in play. 22-8 with 5.5 to go in the first quarter.
All right. Oh, we're gonna announce some of our sponsors tonight. Please support these incredible local businesses. Starting with the Lost Dutchman Tattoo. The tattoo shop specializes in various styles, and for realism and traditional, you can also customize your own tattoo. Walk-ins are accepted. The shop is located at 4121 North 19th Avenue, east side of 19th Avenue, and north of Indian School Road. Also, another tattoos place, Rhea Riot Tattoos. They are it's someone that works here, right? Trini is a tattoo artist who had a traditional apprenticeship and education, not only in the traditional folk art form, but also in the education and craft, including building machines and needles in the history of the old workers' way. Come see them and get your tattoo and find your passion. I love that.
Yeah, I love to tell people I've got a Lost Dutchman tattoo on my arm. Lots of people do. Lots of people have Ray Riot tattoos here as well. So you can honestly check the workout. People will just I'm like, here, look, I'll take my shirt sleeve up. That is back to the action. That is Sandra Slay O'Connor, number 1981 for the Runaway Brides, and is out and clear for the Brides once again. Jamming for the Draggers is Strange for the first time and gets blocked off hard to the infield. Runaway Brides playing stout defense in the pack, as they are known to do. Another big block. Hollywood down to the infield on top of Strange. Strange going to get up now, and Sandra Slay O'Connor finally finishing a scoring pass after taking quite a defensive pounding there. There's 16 seconds left in this jam. Strange is not yet out. Hollywood now waiting. And Strange tries to go through, just kind of gets guided down to the infield.
Goes down, yeah, pretty hard.
Two blockers in the way.
Draggers.
And the clock expires on that jam. Both jammers really visibly winded there after Sandy fighting through the pack twice and Strange getting blocked a number of times.
They're giving it their all. This is the championship bout. I don't expect anything less from these two teams.
Absolutely. That was an 8-point jam for the Runaway Brides.
Now at 30 points for the Runaway Brides.
That is correct. Checking in, making sure that points were reported. Okay, so after that, ended up being a penalty on Strange. So it is now the second power jam for the Runaway Brides this evening. It's Cherry Kiss at the jammer line once again.
Can that Dragon defense hold them off? Let's go.
Crowd cheering, 45 seconds left, 15 seconds gone. Part of the game of a power jam is to slow and not necessarily stop, and so far the Draggers are winning that battle.
The pack has to be in continuous motion forward, correct?
That is correct. Cherry Kiss gets out, puts the star back on.
Okay, come on. Look at this gameplay, y'all.
Yep, now the pack slows down in front of us. Runaway Brides are going to try to slow things down so that their jammer can get by as many skaters as possible, as easily as possible. The Draggers trying to slow it down a little bit and keep Cherry from getting around. Now Cherry is going to be low to the track, trying to get around that last corner and pick up any point she can. Racing up, tries to get by. Here's the whistle. I know Cherry Kiss would put a finger up if Cherry Kiss thought Cherry Kiss got a point, so...
You're number one.
So
You're number one.
Cherry did not catch up to the pack, and that was a 5-point jam for the Brides. Power jam for the Brides. So good defense, though. Good
Great
defense
5 points.
by the
Really held them off.
Draggers. Yes. That's going to be Bedbugs Bunny this time for the Coffin Draggers. And Hollyhood for the Runaway Brides.
Ooh, hits pretty hard.
Yeah, big hit there at the back of the
Can
pack.
she squeeze around the pack?
They got Bugs along the inside.
Dragons
I was
out
just
of
kind of
front.
I was going to say, watching it unfold down there in the corner. And Hollyhood trying to get clear.
They're fighting back. They're fighting back for those points. Dragger fans, make some noise.
Pack definition comes back together. Hollyhood with the big block along the rail. Knocks Bedbugs Bunny down to the ground. Bugs spun to the inside.
Gets back on the track, trying to grab some more points. Get you make it around her.
Sandy, Novocaine, and Nightmare all at the front of the pack. Bugs is doing everything they can, trying to find an opening. There's 9 seconds left in this jam. Hollyhood took a big spill at the back of the pack and is now stuck behind that wall of defenders for the Coffin Draggers. Clock will expire as Bugs was just trying to grate through and get as many points as they could.
What's that? Does that end the first quarter?
No, we got a minute and a half left.
Just for the jam.
Yeah. And there is a penalty getting dropped for Bedbugs Bunny, a skating out of bounds penalty. So this is going to be, after a 5-point jam for the Coffin Draggers, another power jam for the Runaway Brides. It is 1:10 to go until the end of the first quarter, and the Runaway Brides now another crack at a power jam. Coffin Draggers have given up 10 points and then 5 points, and we will see what their defense can do here. And Cherry Kiss, not quite out yet. Big block from behind, gets knocked down, tries to get up and go around the blocker. Now another blocker there to help. And now Cherry's able to kind of jump around and get around Zora La Bruja down there coming out of the turn. Good effort on the front end of the pack, though, by those two Coffin Draggers defenders. Now the Draggers are able to get the pack together and try to pull things. There's 30 seconds left in the power jam. Cherry Kiss weaves to the inside, is now once again behind two wall of blockers. Pack was shifting back and forth, and then Cherry gets to go through. So Cherry's looking at the clock, 15 seconds left, and the Runaway Brides now are able to establish their offense this time around, as Cherry is now catching up to the pack. Cherry is is waiting for some openings, and then there's a block there at the end. So we'll have to see if Cherry got all the points on that last scoring pass. Ends up being a 9-point power jam once again for the Runaway Brides.
9-point power play for the power jam for the Runaway Brides.
Indeed. So, but again though, decent defense, good defense. We always say about 7 to 8 is probably a wash, saying good either way. So 9 and 10 that's holding their own on power jams.
I thought that was really good.
Yeah, so far, good defensive effort shown on those 3 power jams. And we will see how things go, but so far, Runaway Brides are skating pretty light on penalties from what I have seen. This is Sandra Slay O'Connor and Strange jamming for the Brides and the Draggers. The quarter clock has expired, so we will be heading to the quarter break whenever this jam ends. Nobody's out yet. Now Strange has the best shot and goes right up between.
Draggers breaking through. Can they score some more points on this final jam of the quarter?
Strange now coming around. The Coffin Draggers spring into action. Looking down here in the corner. Sandy calling out instructions from behind the pack. Strange is trying to get through and keep going. Gets blocked off to the infield. Routed off well by Baby down along the inside. Jumps up on the track and calls off those last couple of seconds. All right. So another 5 points for the Coffin Draggers will take us into the quarter break. You are looking at a score at the moment of 44 to 18. The Runaway Brides have jumped out to the early lead, but momentum can swing like crazy in this sport, and that early lead can evaporate in just a couple jams time. We've got a lot of bout left.
Also, the loudness of the crowd really helps them really score so many points. I noticed that.
This is also true.
Let's announce some more sponsors that we have this evening. Please give it up for Sidewalk Surfer. 2 times bout. Sidewalk Surfer has the largest selection of roller skates and skates accessories. They build custom skates and service all brands and skates. Open at 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday and 10 to 6 on Sundays. Located at 260. Sorry, my dyslexia. 260 North Scottsdale Road in Scottsdale, Arizona. A few other sponsors that we have this evening is Siphon Draw, Apothecary Shop, all natural, non-toxic, handcrafted skin care. Don't do that. Skincare products made by their very own Dali de los Muertos. Please visit siphondraw.com for the best handcrafted skin products preventing skin cancer.
So we've got, by the way, down here, was just up by us and is now wandering back down towards the back straightaway. That's Kansas City holding up raffle tickets.
Hey, Kansas City, jump up and down so they can see you with the raffle ticket. Hey, Kansas!
Grab some of those raffle tickets. Those can be dropped in those 4 prize bags that we told you about earlier.
The gift card. Or is that for the raffle or the silent auction?
So that's the raffle.
That's for the raffle,
you can go down and bid on over the course of the evening.
So we got the Switchblade haircut $75 gift certificate. We got the Tucci's Touch Massage gift certificate, 60 minutes. There is an art supplies. And
sorry, my handwriting is...
No. Just go check out the raffle. And it all comes back to support this league. So anything you can do to support us to keep the lights on, especially in the summer, I'm sure it's pretty expensive.
All right, we are back to the action. It is still 44 to 18, Runaway Brides. We have All of You Die, who is up towards the front of the pack, has the star off, so they're looking for purchase here. Cherry Kiss at the back of the pack is getting bumped around by the defense of the Draggers. And now Olive spins around that last blocker and is out and clear for the Coffin Draggers. So the Draggers are going to look to build on their momentum there at the end of the first quarter.
Yes. The crowd is getting really wild today.
Absolutely.
Right now at this one. I love it.
Cherry Kiss does get out for the Runaway Brides. Olive Tries to swing around and get her hips in front of both of those skaters if possible. That's what you got to do. It's the hip in front of a hip. That's how you score the point. So we'll check from the infield and see.
What makes it an illegal hit? If you do it below the hip, or
An illegal hit?
Yeah, a hip.
Illegal hit? Do you mean?
Yeah, hip. Yeah, that's what I mean.
It would be like it's above the shoulders.
Above the
illegal?
shoulders.
Yeah, and you can't plow into somebody's back.
No knees.
Yeah, no knees. Right.
But you can give a hip, a thigh.
Yeah, hip, a thigh.
A
those are all
booty
good.
bump.
Yes.
Okay.
That always works. I know that is legal. The booty bump is always legal.
The booty bump is in.
Correct. All right. So that ended up being a 4-point jam for the Coffin Draggers. Indeed. We have Strange jamming for the Draggers, and that is Evil Twin for the Runaway Brides once again. Twin along the inside gets out and clear for the Brides. Strange tries to weave around a skater, and that's Novocaine closing the door. So now up on the pack, here comes Evil Twin for the Brides. It's going to get run up into the wall by Angel of Beth. There's embezzlement as well. Stern on the back end. Strange is going to take off the star and get blocked off to the infield. Holly Hood playing tough defense at the back of the pack. Evil Twin getting defended just as hard. Knocked off as well. Here comes Angel of Beth once again. Angel of Beth is on a mission. My goodness. All over the track throwing blocks. That is checking in. Ended up being the 5 points for Runaway Brides. But again, solid defense played in the pack.
The jammer for the Dragon's Eyes, Dolly Spartan. And I can't, number 4, right? Number
What's
4?
that?
Is that number 4?
That is number 4.
Number 4.
That is Cherry Kiss.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
I'm getting that. Wow.
See, Cherry usually starts back here-ish. It's usually easy to spot Cherry. And then that is Cherry's eyelashes, by the way. You and Cherry are going to have an eyelash fight at halftime for charity.
They help with the speed for sure when you add. Oh,
that is
Dolly
right.
Park.
Dolly gets out, Cherry right behind. And see, like I said, look, you can see the eyelashes from here.
Those are very fast jammers, very
yes, both
fast
of them
skaters.
at the same time, and Dolly had to call it off rather than risk a chance of Cherry getting past her and blocking her and then getting points for herself. So no points for either side. 12 minutes till halftime. Let's see. That is Bedbugs Bunny for the Coffin Draggers. Full Metal Anarchist is jamming for the first time for the Runaway Brides. So, a strategic shift for the Brides, putting a new jammer up there for the first time. We're at the front of the pack, and I'm going to say that star must have been passed. And that is going to be taking over as jammer. That is number 7780, Pee Wee Vermin.
All right. Is that the first time as a jammer?
That is their first time. That is her first
All
time wearing the
right.
jammer star. So now the Coffin Draggers get their offense set. There's a shove from Angel of Beth, giving Pee Wee a little push. Pee Wee is getting cheered to call it, but gets blocked off to the infield.
Big hit off
Now
the-
we've got their jammer coming in at the back. And a call from the bench to call it. Okay, that was Full Metal Anarchist crashing into a blocker at the back of the pack at full speed. We're going to have to wait for the scoring on that. Coffin Draggers look like they finished a whole pass.
Something happened. They came back out of that first quarter and said, not today.
That is right. Yep, the Coffin Draggers have been on. Another 5 points for the Coffin Draggers there, 1 point for the Brides. But yeah, the scoring has been in the Coffin Draggers' favor over the last, I would say, 8 to 9 jams. Draggers have been holding their own and slowly chipping away at this, actually. This is going to be All of You Die for the Coffin Draggers, and that is Cherry Kiss once again for the Runaway Brides. Olive right out the front of the pack. Excellent blocking at the front of the pack by that pivot for the Coffin Draggers. And Olive is out. Cherry not yet out and is going to play some jammer defense.
Big hit in the wall. Can she make it around the pack?
So now at the back of the pack, Cherry has just turned into a full-on blocker back there and is going to try to keep Olive from getting any points. Cherry with the star off. Yes. All right. Looking now back at the, we've got Cherry has still got the star off. Olive Olive now bouncing around at the front of the pack, and Olive calls it off. So we will see if Olive got those points at the front. Olive did. Olive, you die. She got all those points. We've got a timeout being signaled. Another 5 points for the Coffin Draggers. Team timeout. That is a timeout by the Runaway Brides. That smells like momentum, doesn't it? I was going to say, that feels like the old, let's take a timeout and let the old momentum.
That would be my derby name,
So, yeah.
Smelly Momentum.
Smell the momentum.
Mm-hmm. What's
So,
your
yeah,
what's
I
your
was going
roller
to say,
derby name?
Clofton P. Garudge.
Okay, that's your government name.
No,
I'm just kidding.
no. It's Clifton Gray.
Oh,
But
no,
yeah,
just
no.
kidding.
Clofton P. Garudge with 2 R's. Freya Hugs named me that one night when they were crossfaded.
Yeah, you have to have a name.
Exactly, and then it just stuck. I'm like, yeah, exactly.
It's
so,
perfect.
We have had from the infield. I will wait to make it official, but the head referee is holding a challenge flag in his hands.
Ooh.
So we're going to have to wait and see what's going on. So I see all of you die in the penalty box. So this challenge is about 98% certain to be a penalty challenge by the Coffin Draggers because they don't want to give up another power jam.
Yeah, okay.
And there we are, challenge black.
Okay, challenge her.
All right, so the challenge process, we get a little bit of a time to talk sponsors
Yeah, what
and
happens?
whatnot.
What happens
Yeah.
about the challenge?
Challenge, you're going to see the 2 teams are going to discuss it, then the regulators will get together there in the back straightaway, and then, by golly, it'll play out. We'll have an answer for you.
Do they look in a TV? Do they look at...
They may look at the GoPro. They'll have to see it. Depends on what the penalty was, et cetera, et cetera.
And they all have to agree?
Yep.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
There you go.
Speaking of all agreeing, I want to invite you all to please come to our after party at Georgian Dragons. It's really, really important that you all come and get amped up and enjoy the end of the incredible championship season. It's just north of Central, right across from Indian Steel Park.
Let's let you know once again, down in the vendor village is Raven's Sweet Haven. Raven's Sweet Haven, all sorts of baked goods, lots of sweet items, plenty of savory items. Like I said, do not miss the muffins. I mean, there's also the sweet muffins, but then the blueberry thyme lemon scones are also delicious.
You've told me. You're really into it. I hope they sell out of that.
Oh, everything is delicious. Now that I can fully attest. You can look at my Lost Dutchman tattoo, and you can share a corn muffin with me.
My physique is very much muffin energy, for sure.
There we go. Absolutely.
Okay, and I'll do a fun fact. Because tonight and every night we celebrate women in sports. Thank you for being here and celebrating ladies and thems. We do appreciate you. Give yourself a round of applause, audience. It takes a really incredible community to come out and turn up the energy like you all have done. So give yourself a round of applause right now. Yeah. Oh, you can be louder for yourselves, y'all. Make some noise for yourself. There you go. In 1973, Billie Jean King, Battle of the Sexes, they win their first tennis. Their first win wasn't in tennis. It was a feminist statement that 90 million people saw, changing the conversation around women in sports. Thank you, Billie Jean King. In 2016, WNBA players stage a media blackout, refusing to answer related questions in protest to the police and support of Black Lives Matter. Thank you to the ladies of the WNBA. In 1976, whew. We have an answer. Let's wait for the answer from the inbox.
All right, so after that challenge, that was a successful challenge.
What a successful
challenge!
Wow.
It was indeed a successful challenge. So the Coffin Draggers get to keep their first half challenge now and can reuse it once more.
And no penalty.
That's right, no penalty on all of you die. They get a jammer. They got 6 points in the last jam. And are now, both jammers are still fighting to get to the front of the pack. That's Dolly Spartan, who's coming directly at us now. fighting to get by Lightning the Queen, which is hard to do. Jamming for the Runaway Brides is Evil Twin, who's been out there frequently and is getting ridden off the track. That was Antifa at the back of the pack with great defense. There's 18 seconds left in the jam, and that's Dolly Spartan shaking clear for the Coffin Draggers. Once again, the Coffin Draggers with lead jam. Dolly to the high side and tries to get around Lightning, but a big block. And now just has to sit and wait for Lightning to catch up, and the clock expires. All right, man, oh man, this has been some great action here in the early going.
This is what you expect from a championship match. I keep saying that, but like,
yep, yeah, of course. And
they want this. They're hungry.
And I'd mentioned to you, like, while we were chatting before the bout, like, the Coffin Draggers played them close earlier in the year. So,
did they win?
The Brides won, but the Draggers were in it the very thick of it throughout. So, we now have another power jam for the Runaway Brides. We've had another. Wait. Oh.
Whoa! We got a flag. Oh.
Okay. Well, that was quick. I did say that the Coffin Draggers could reuse that challenge, and that thing was barely even cool. And it's back out, so we'll find out what's going on. I saw all of you guys suddenly gesturing up at the scoreboard and saying they had to challenge something. So we will find out. That would possibly mean it's a points challenge.
Why not? If you have the challenge, use them.
All right, so we will find out. So, hey, let's get back to our...
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so as the regulators are currently discussing this challenge, if you're interested in being part of the roller derby community, but hitting people just isn't your thing, our regulators are always looking for dedicated and eager minds to learn our rule set and help keep our skaters on the track safe. The regulator team is an open gender team. There's various levels of officiating that go on during roller derby bouts, including both roles on skates and off skates. Come be a part of the action and help our league grow. Ask any skater or ref how to get involved. That's the regulators.
And let's not forget, if you're taking any photos tonight, please make sure to tag Arizona Derby Dames on Instagram, Facebook, all the social media so they can share your live action photos. And please take a moment and visit our Derby Dames merch booth to get your favorite league and team merch, as well as cold beverage or snack. It really helps the league if you grab the merch, the snack, as well as the raffle tickets. You can do your part, and we thank you so much for being here.
We'd also love to tell you about our minor assaults team. That is our minors. There is a National League of Bank Track minors teams, just like there are for flat track leagues usually. The minor assaults take skaters who are between the ages of 10 and 17 and love to skate. They're looking for new skaters all the time. There's no scheduled tryouts for the minor assaults. Anybody can drop on in and check it out. Our coaches not only teach technique and knowledge of the sport, but they also help build leadership, teamwork, and problem-solving skills that'll help in life situations far beyond roller derby. Minor skating skills, dedication to learn, and a positive mental attitude are all that we require. Come see what all the fun is about. Ask any Arizona Derby Dame how to get involved.
A positive attitude. I'm out.
So, challenge continuing. The coaches are still talking to Lollipop, so this could go on for a bit. We'll have to find out what's going on, as I said. I guess it must be a penalty challenge because the eyes are still behind me, right? So, all right, yeah. Yeah, I was going to say.
We can talk. Wow, we got a lot of things to talk about.
Y'all be down there by now. You know what I mean?
One thing we're good about doing is talking. Now you can just ask the people listening.
Has anybody ever seen the clip of the Denver Nuggets broadcaster and they're like, "Do you know if Jamal's playing?" And he turns around and goes, "Jamal, are you playing?" He goes, "No, just warming up." He goes, "No, he's just warming up."
Yeah, that's how you find out. That's in-person reporting.
Exactly. All right. So hey, some of those fun facts that we got. Let's see. 1976, the Yale women's rowing team stripped to protest lack of facilities. They wrote Title IX on their bare bodies in front of the press after being forced to wait on a cold bus while men got to shower first. Their story helped enforce Title IX protections.
Which also inspired the Title IX bar that shows all women's sports in the Melrose District.
That is true.
Now open.
We do love Title IX. All right. We have to just give them a moment, making sure everybody's nodding and acknowledging and whatnot. But we have had our, let's see, who's going to wait? The penalty that was being challenged was on Dolly Spartan, and that penalty was for an illegal call-off, illegal procedure, basically saying that Dolly had not signaled to call the jam off properly or had signaled to call it off while she was not the lead jammer. That would be what would cause that penalty. Now that the word's been reported back to the benches, though, we can share with you that the jammer penalty, waiting, that is a successful challenge by the Coffin Draggers.
All right.
That is their second successful challenge in about as many jams.
Do they get to keep their challenge? Or
they do not have any more challenges.
No more. Okay, so if you win the first one, you get one more and then you're done.
Right.
Okay. Good to know.
So, Dolly Spartan is still in the penalty box. So there must have been more than one penalty on Dolly. And we have another power jam for the Runaway Brides. That is Cherry Kiss out there for the Brides and out quickly this time, able to catch the Coffin Draggers with an offensive set coming right off that timeout. Now Cherry is going to weave through the pack and runs up into a blocker. Trying to go down for the block was Hugs and Stitches, but Cherry fights through. So that's one scoring pass down for the Brides, but the Draggers are able to break the offense, and they're going to now control the pace of play. Hollywood's going to try to have something to do about that and get in between those skaters. They get one blocked off to the infield. And Cherry Kiss able to weave through the pack.
Brides out in front, just grabbing the points from the Draggers.
Cherry is racing around, trying to get back around before the clock expires, and not able to get there.
All right.
We had a regulator down.
A massive score for the Brides.
That was indeed. It was another 10-point power jam for the Runaway Brides. So 60-38, the Brides put a little bit more of a cushion.
It's still anyone's bout, y'all.
It absolutely
It's back and forth, back and forth, ping pong, ping pong.
Runaway Brides absolutely specialize in strong defense, limiting as many points as possible, and then striking a lot on power jams. And so far, they have struck a lot on power jams. That has been what has flavored this lead for them so far.
And the Draggers' strong parts, defense.
Yeah, the Draggers have played great defense. And again, it's worth mentioning that the Runaway Brides are skating pretty penalty light. They have not yet given up a jammer penalty.
No, they have not.
Yep. So now that is going to be Sandra Slay O'Connor is out there for the Runaway Brides. And jamming for the Coffin Draggers is Strange.
All right.
And nice little clip block there at the end. Strange gets up and goes on. Novocaine is signaling to the referees. That's Novocaine's business and their business. Strange is out and clear. Sandy is at the front of the pack for the Runaway Brides and trying to get out as well. Now Strange, great block by Pee Wee Furman. Wow, excellent block at the back of the pack there by the pivot. Clearing space, coming together with embezzlement.
Draggers with the lead jam at that time, scoring some points. Let's get the official number.
That was another 4-point jam for the Coffin Draggers, and it is now going to be another power jam for the Runaway Brides. The Coffin Draggers have surrendered another jammer penalty, and that's Cherry Kiss once again, your designated driver for the power jams this evening. whereas I'll be DDing
Can
over
the
to
Draggers hold them
after party,
off?
am I right?
Dragger fans, make some noise for them right now. Brides fans, make some noise. Come on, Bride fans out. Oh, come on, Jammer. You got it around the corner. Here we go.
Big
Brides
tank.
Jammer out in front, ready to grab some points, coming around the pack. Here we go.
Big old tangle of skaters there.
Super fast, super
Yeah.
fast. Woo, woo, shoo, shoo. Oh, goes down. Gets around the whole entire pack, but they get 5 points even with the one in the penalty box, correct?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
They get the point. They get the penalty box point. The first one they pass at the back.
Okay.
So essentially, they get 3 points for the first skater they pass, and now that's a second scoring pass completed by Cherry. So this time, the Runaway Brides are really making hay on this power jam, really playing this one to their advantage.
Draggers are regrouping and trying to stop the jammer of the Brides.
This time, they're able to get some resistance together there at the back of the pack. Those 3 blockers at the back of the pack for the Brides were doing great work. And Cherry is going to try to finish that last scoring pass and get that last point. We will check with the scorekeepers and find out, but that's, regardless, is going to be big for the Brides.
Let's get the official count on how many points we got.
14
14 points for the
Runaway
Brides. Big score on the power jam.
Coffin Draggers had cut it down to under 20 points. And now the Runaway Brides have put 2 big jams on the board here in succession to get some points going. Bedbugs Bunny is your jammer for the Coffin Draggers. Evil Twin for the Brides. Evil Twin has that star off. Bedbugs Bunny did as well and has already passed it forward to Dolly Spartan for the Coffin Draggers. So,
All right.
excuse me, that's Pee Wee Vermin. That is not Dolly Spartan. I just saw a long blonde ponytail, but Pee Wee's done their hair a little different. Pee Wee around the outside uses that rail to her advantage and gets on through. Evil Twin is still not out for the Brides and has not yet been able to pass the star either. So the jammers for the Brides not yet out. And Twin gets right in the way. Big block by Evil Twin, knocking Pee Wee Vermin into the rail. Wow.
We're about 3 minutes until the end of the second quarter. Oh.
Hey, everybody. Somebody in the stands sounded like somebody might have had a whistle and might have been sort of blowing on a whistle there. I thought so, and I was looking out there skeptically, and then Bender B. Rodriguez just confirmed my suspicions, and it's his word that goes. So please, this is your first reminder, no whistling from the stands whatsoever. You will be ejected. Those are in capital letters. You will be ejected if you're not
By
whistling
me, I'm
from the
gonna
stands.
come
Seriously.
get you personally.
That's right. All right.
Was that scary?
Back to the action we go. 8-point jam for the Coffin Draggers. So getting to work on hacking into that lead for the Runaway Brides. This is Dolly Spartan. Now this is Dolly Spartan for the Coffin Draggers. And that's Full Metal Anarchist once again for the Runaway Brides. Dolly started from somewhat further behind, is trying to now build up some speed and gets around Sandy, able to get through Sandy and Novocaine, and is out and clear once again for the Coffin Draggers. So the Draggers are having to make up this ground once they surrender a power jam. Dolly fights past Sandy at the front of the pack.
Dolly is focused. She's focused.
Draggers have really found their mojo here.
When they have everybody, that's their mojo.
Metal takes a big tumble, big block by All of You Die. Dolly Spartan now tries to get
taking
by.
hits, taking blocks. Can she get by for some more points for the Draggers?
That was excellent defense at the front of the pack by number 25, Nightmare. Pinned Dolly to the rail and absolutely had an effect on that into that jam, slowed Dolly down. It ends up, however, still being a 10-point jam for the Coffin Draggers. So the Draggers have fought right back to being within 15 points, and we've got 2 minutes and 16 seconds until halftime. This is an official timeout.
An official timeout from the lead official. It's funny how that works, right? So a couple different things. We have about 2 minutes and 16 seconds. Please grab your raffle tickets. We're going to draw for the Tucci Touch Massage gift card, as well as the Katrina 3-piece art set. Please go grab that. We're going to do that in just a few moments.
Don't forget down there as well, those are the raffle prizes we're giving away right quick. We've got also the Siphon Draw $50 value gift box, and we've got the Switchblade Salon $75 haircut gift card. We've got our silent auctions as well, the 2 big ticket tattoo gift certificates, $300 each to Lost Dutchman and Rhea Riot, both sponsors that Gaba was telling you about recently.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to
Those are some good
that.
prizes.
Yes. All right, we are back to the action, and strategically, neither team is field. There we go. It is going to be yet another power jam for the Runaway Brides. Here comes Cherry Kiss once again to get up there and do the hard work, but the Runaway Brides only have 2 blockers this time.
Isn't it
So just 2 blockers for the Brides.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah. So Cherry is kind of ping-ponging around. So far, the Draggers have been able to keep 2 skaters in front of her at all times. That is kind of the key here. That right there, playing that excellent defense, is believe that's Hugs and Stitches, or is that Olive? That was Olive, in fact. A couple of skaters down, and that finally gets Cherry clear, only by them getting those 2 skaters both knocked down. That ate half the time off the power jam clock. That's excellent defense. And excellent defense again. Those 3 Draggers, skaters, Murder Mittens, all of you die in Hugs and Stitches. Love to give those blockers some love, and they held strong at the back of the pack. Cherry is going to drift around and is going to watch the clock expire. So we will see if Cherry got all 5 of those points in that scoring pass. She did. So it's a 5-point power jam for the Runaway Brides. So excellent defense by the Coffin Draggers there to keep that one limited to 5 points. Wow. So, all right, there's less than a minute to go in the second quarter. This could hypothetically be the last jam of the quarter. Brides are up by 20. Let's see. Jam refs are discussing something. So we are looking at, we've got Strange is the jammer for the Coffin Draggers, and it would appear that the star has been passed forward, and taking over as jammer for the Brides is Lightning the Queen. So Lightning now is going to pop that star on. Draggers jammer is going to line up to play defense. As Gaba had pointed out, Draggers only have 2 blockers out there otherwise. Lightning fights through, and this is starting to turn into a de facto power jam for the Runaway Brides here to close out the half as the clock is going to expire on the half. Strange is still fighting to get clear.
I feel like most of the Brides' points were made on the power jams.
Yeah, they absolutely have been, and this one's just basically kind of like one. Lightning's able to spin around that last blocker and get clear, then calls off the last few seconds of the jam. So we'll check on the scoring from the infield, as that's going to take us up to halftime. It ends up being a 10-point jam for the Runaway Brides. So, your scores, we head into the half. We are halfway through the championship bout, and right now the Runaway Brides are up 89-59 in this rather low-scoring bout. When both teams are under 100 at the half, it's fairly low scoring.
I feel like there's still enough time to make anything happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So, that takes us to our halftime break. All right, so for this single-header bout, we got ourselves a little half-hour break. Yeah, there we go. And we'll be getting to our halftime entertainment momentarily. If you've got anything you wanted to get to before the half, Gabagool?
I got nothing. No.
Yeah, I was going to say also to mention as you're getting ready for the break, don't forget the after party tonight is at George and Dragon. George and Dragon, it is on Central and Indian School.
The chairs. I sent it in a message. You and the captains. I did. Okay.
right, we've got our first 2 prizes to give away. We want to remind you, if you are the winner, don't come up here. Do not come up here. You go to the opposite corner of the warehouse.
Don't come up here
That's
if you're a winner.
Back down there where the tickets were sold at the door. All right. This first prize is, one more time, what's this one? That is the Siphon Draw Apothecary $50 value gift basket, gift box.
Please grab your raffle tickets. They're white raffle tickets. Thank you so much for supporting the Arizona Derby Dames. The winner is 58692. Last 4 6972. If you win, you better make some noise. Oh, we got a winner.
Winner over there. All
Okay,
right.
winner. Don't come over here, winner.
That's right. Yes. Thank you. Go the other way. Run
Over
from
there.
the sound of my voice, like Freya Hugs does.
Run far, like all my partners do.
All right. And this other one is the Katrina 3-piece art set. We had said that this was 2 canvas items and a framed item as well. This is the 3-piece art set. Valued at $50
We're gonna
as well.
shake this up. We're gonna shake this up. For those joining us online, thank you so much for joining us. Sorry you can't win these raffles because you're not here in person. All right, 5868555. Last 4 is 6855. You better make some noise if you won. All right, we got a winner.
Hey, look at
Congratulations.
that.
Don't come over here.
That's right, yes.
Go over there. Thank you so
right.
much.
We are just about 30 minutes till the end of halftime as we get ready to bring you back into the game here. Taking a look, Runaway Brides 89, Coffin Draggers 59.
I got a Raven sweet. I don't know if I told you that. It was sweet and delicious.
All right, ready to roll? Looks like everybody's checking around. We are about ready to get started. So, we got 30 more minutes of Derby action to see if the Runaway Brides can lock up a 7th straight title or if the Coffin Draggers can overcome this halftime deficit.
Audience,
come out
are y'all ready for the
victorious.
second half? You better make some noise. That's right. That's how we do it here at the Derby Dames. Let's go.
All right, your first jammers for the second half. Dolly Spartan for the Coffin Draggers. Cherry Kiss for the Runaway Brides. You'd imagine that the Coffin Draggers defense is going to get a steady diet of Cherry Kiss here in the second half.
It's anyone's game, and the louder you are, the more points they score. I don't know. That's just the math I know. Oh, okay. Oh,
Right.
I hear you. I hear you.
Just about ready. There we go. All set. Had to get that second GoPro going for any video reviews.
Absolutely. It was very helpful that first half.
All right, so there we are. Cherry Kiss is going to go right up the middle and find an opening, and Cherry's out and clear.
The Bride Jammer take the lead for the second half out in front.
And Dolly Spartan gets around. Astro Thought was trying to knock a block down, and Cherry Kiss is going to get up over a jammer and then signal to call it off. Bunch of action there. I saw Cherry try to leapfrog somebody while Dolly Spartan was coming in hot at the end.
My challenge for the Diggers is to stay out of the jam play. That's my goal for them. Because they can destroy and have a really awesome game. And I can't wait. I can't wait. No penalties, nothing. Everyone's going to go hardcore this whole set.
Well, we've already got a power jam for the Runaway Brides.
Well, then I messed that up.
Already, the Runaway Brides are going to jump back on the power jam offensive. That was a 3-point jam for them. And once again, it is Cherry Kiss right back out there.
I tried.
So the
I tried to
Runaway
put it-
Brides are making great strides despite Gabagool's urging for everybody to skate penalty-free.
I was trying.
We tried, but no, it is another power jam for the Brides, and this is where they've made their points so far in the bout. Draggers are trying to hold strong on defense. Cherry Kiss is just slippery, manages to get through the pack and finishes off that scoring pass. Watching Cherry Kiss come around again, up into the turn, right to the head of the stretch, and blocked down to the infield, this time meeting with a little more turbulence than the previous time through the pack, but still trying to finish that pass. 10 seconds left on the power jam clock, now getting reinforcements from Hugs and Stitches. routed off to the infield and then tells the teammates to take it easy at the end of the jam. It's a 10-point jam for the Runaway Brides. They're going to nose up over 100 for the bout. So the Brides have started the third quarter on a hot streak here, 102.59. Let's see, that is Evil Twin.
And Dolly Spartan now for the
Dolly
Diggers.
Spartan. Referees, regulators checking in. Everybody's making sure. All right, there we are, underway.
The Draggers. Come on, Coffin Draggers. Come on, Brides.
Evil Twin went down to the inside, had an opening thanks to Lightning McQueen, and Twin is out and clear for the Brides. Up to the high side, Dolly Spartan trying to get past Lightning, but gets blocked off to the infield hard.
Oh, hit hard with the hip.
And Dolly now with the head of steam, tried to get by Lightning again, but Lightning closed the door. Somebody got hit. I heard somebody holler out in there, so somebody probably took an elbow to the midsection.
That was a big hip hit.
Dolly does get out for the Draggers, though, and is going to try to get around and enforce the call off here. Evil Twins trying to stay upright, pirouetting, and calls it off before coming off the track. 5 points for the Brides once again. Looks like no penalties for either side. Looks like we got a full pack for this one. That's going to be Sandra Slay O'Connor for the Runaway Brides, and that is Hugs and Stitches for the Coffin Draggers. Stitches was playing some jammer defense right at the outset. Sandy reaching way over and hands that star over to Baby, number 192. Taking over as jammer for the Brides. And they're getting out is the pivot for the Coffin Draggers as well. There goes Strange taking over as jammer. Try to keep this to one scoring pass for Baby. It's blocked down at the end, tumbling head over heels and calls it off.
Cherry Kiss out for the Brides.
Let's see. Oh, we are going to have our first power jam for the Coffin Draggers.
Power jam!
Wait, it's an official timeout. Well, pending. Power jam pending for the Coffin Draggers. We will have to see. There's an official timeout to talk over some of the goings on in that previous jam.
An official timeout.
10:30 to go in the third quarter.
You know what that means.
That's right.
A song from GABA. This little light of mine. I'm just kidding, y'all. I'm gonna save you a little bit of headache for that. We have some more fun facts about women in sports. Did you know in 2019 the U.S. women's soccer team sued the U.S. Soccer for equal pay, all while winning the World Cup? Fans in stadiums literally chanted, "Equal pay!"
All right, we are back to it, and not a power jam, as we said. After review, penalty rescinded, so that is Cherry Kiss out there for the Runaway Brides.
And all of you die.
All of you die for the Coffin Draggers. Could be double jammer down. I could be mistaken, but we'll have to, either way, it doesn't matter. Both teams have jammers. Cherry Kiss at the back of the pack, trying to get clear. Olive is at the front of the pack and getting fought down to the inside, and now Cherry is going to shake clear around the outside. Olive tries to go up around Lightning, not able to get clear. And Olive blocked off to the infield once again. Here comes Cherry Kiss. And Olive tries to at least get up there and throw a shoulder into Cherry. Cherry blocked off to the infield by Murder Mittens. Now back up onto the track and is trying to goes around the high side, but gets blocked there. Back of the pack now gets told to get up and get with the rest of the program. And at the back of the track, I see Olive's holding her face. Olive might be injured, may have taken a strike to the face.
Oh, no.
And is back there, back there with the head down. So we'll keep an eye on that. And Olive now is going to head off and draw the attention of the medics immediately as we see them springing into action. Yeah, saw Olive with a hand to the ear hole, so not sure what happened, but we'll see how Olive is doing in a bit. So,
Thanks to our medics.
Now, a whole lot of shifting around.
Oh, okay. I love a good shift.
And we're going to have a timeout. There's going to be a team timeout by the Coffin Draggers. So
That's
the
what
Coffin
happens.
Draggers
That's
are
what
going to take
happens.
a timeout with 9:05 to go here until the end of the third quarter. Runaway Brides have come out strong after halftime. 114-59 is the
When
score
there's a
right now.
lot of shifty energy happening, you got to call the timeout. Everyone got to get on the same page. I'm learning. You're teaching me. I really appreciate that. We'd like to invite you all. Please come out to our after party. Is that Georgian Dragons? Georgian Dragons. Yes, on Central, across from Indian Steel Park. Central and Indian School intersection. Come have some fun. Let's get amped up. Thank you for celebrating our championship bout here at the Arizona Derby Dames. We have a few more women in history, women's sports history moments. I would like to bring you back to the year of 1984. First women's Olympic marathon. Thanks to its part to long campaigns proving women could safely run 26.2 miles. Yes, that was a debate in 1984.
All right, we are back to the action. After the team timeout, it is now, in fact, a power jam for the Coffin Draggers. This time for real. Hugs and Stitches is at the jammer line. Draggers are going to be looking for some offense here to try to hack into this lead. Stitches off to the infield initially. That's going to be a strong wall at the back of the pack, but able to break through. Still great defense at the back of the pack by Nightmare. Now back up and is going to rejoin her teammates. Stitches up to the front. Bumps into Evil Twin. Still looking for an opening. This Bride's defense has been unforgiving.
They are a block. They're not letting anything.
They are a lot. Bride's defense is feasting and not leaving a crumb. My goodness.
Not even a soft breeze is getting between that
Holy
fence.
Wow. Still up there. There's 13 seconds left. And they're going to, that time, Lightning drives Stitches right into her own blocker and is now going to get up. Oh, sorry, that was Baby that actually threw that block. And that's going to do it. Clock expires on the power jam, and a big cheer goes up for defense. It's a 0-point power jam and a defensive stand by the Runaway Brides.
Great job.
That's going to be Hollywood at the jammer line now for the Runaway Brides.
The athleticism these athletes have is just so incredible. I love watching it. The strength, the balance,
That's
the
Rickety
agility.
Bones. Rickety Bones jamming for the first time for the Draggers, but we're going to have a timeout of some kind. That is going to be another official timeout. So 7:35 to go here in the third quarter. The score remains 114-59.
And I get to do an incredible women's in sports moment. In 2011, trans athlete Chloe Anderson plays college volleyball and is featured on ESPN's Outside the Lines, raising awareness around trans inclusion.
All right, we are right back to the action after a brief timeout. Same jammers, Hollywood and Rickety Bones. No, we have switched to All of You Die. All of You Die and Hollywood. Hollywood shifts in front of Olive. Olive shifts back. Olive down to the inside. Quick move by All of You Die. Great first step, and Olive's out and clear for the Coffin Draggers.
Coffin Draggers out front with the jammers, speeding around. Whoa, they're fast. Coming around turn number 2. Can they grab some points? Coming around the pack. Oh, it doesn't get caught up one bit. Coffin Draggers trying to grab some points and calls it off.
Olive was fighting through and trying to catch the jammer, but Hollywood gets out of the pack, trying to keep herself away. I didn't know it is a 5-point jam. Olive does get all 5 of the points. There we are. So, 5 points for the Coffin Draggers.
Until that last whistle blows and that last point is counted, it is anybody's game.
I heard a penalty.
Okay, a
and
penalty.
they said that's your jammer.
Oh. Not.
Okay, we have a challenge by the Runaway Brides. And
Okay.
so I heard somebody say that's your jammer, so.
That's fine.
No, what do we got? I see one of the eyes in the sky going down.
Oh, eyes in the
I
sky.
don't know. No, not? Okay.
So are they throwing their challenge? Are they throwing their challenge hanky?
They threw their challenge hanky, and this is going to be a challenge on points because we've got
Points.
our points score. Our
So you don't have to throw the challenge flag.
no, they did.
Okay.
They did. I'm not sure. It may have been on the bench. I don't know. It could have been just handed over. I don't think it has to be thrown dramatically like an NFL.
It
penalty
happens so
flag.
fast. I'm like, I can't even keep track. I'm like, is that 4 or 5? And then I remember I went to public school, and then I think I added too many points.
Yep.
And so I just wait for the referees to tell me.
I would, and this is my amateur opinion. We do not know yet, but I would guess it's probably they're questioning all of picking up the last point. I would have to
1
guess.
point?
Yep. That could be what they're challenging.
That's
is 1 point.
Every
if it's
point
successful,
matters.
they get to keep their challenge.
Absolutely.
So,
You should challenge
yeah. In
it.
a game where it's a defensive struggle like this, they do not want to surrender that extra point.
I agree. I'm acting like I'm a professional or something now. you do this one time, and all of a sudden you think you're a professional. We have a few more moments in history. I'd like to bring you back to the wonderful year of 2014. Fallon Fox is the first openly transgendered MMA fighter, sparked international debate about gender in sports. Her visibility forced governing bodies to address trans inclusion. Thank you so much, Fallon Fox.
Challenge still continuing there in the back straightaway.
Well, I'll read some more. I got
Yeah,
some more.
sure.
That's fine.
We got a few more of those.
In 2013, Jason Collins comes out as gay in the NBA, and soon after, Brittany Griner came out too, paving the way for more LGBTQ women in sports to live openly. Thank you, Brittany Griner and Jason Collins.
Did you know Jason Collins switched to number 98 after he came out, and it was in honor of Matthew Shepard, which happened in 1998.
What?
True story.
Is he still playing basketball?
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
no, not
word.
anymore. No, he
Oh.
retired. Him and his brother. His brother Jaron Collins played on the Suns. Came in and basically would pick up 3 cheap fouls against Shaq and then come out of the game. Jason played for a while and came out late in his career. But yeah, he switched to number 98 after that, and it was in honor of Matthew Shepard. So,
Oh, what a good
anyway,
guy.
yeah. Jersey number
History.
stuff. I
you
know
have
jersey
to remember
number
history. You got to remember that people came before you, and it was really hard for them. And if it was really hard for you as a queer trans person, you got to give them their flowers for
Stuff.
sure.
Yeah. All right. So it was not a points challenge. It was a penalty challenge.
A penalty challenge.
And
oh,
it was
wow.
overturned. That is the 3rd successful challenge tonight.
Oh,
There have been no
wow.
unsuccessful challenges.
Okay.
So
That's
this
rare.
will-
That's rare.
it
That's
is
so
very
rare.
So this will not be a power jam for the Coffin Draggers. Cherry Kiss, as usual, out there for the brides. All of you die once again for the Coffin Draggers.
These skaters are really fast. I love watching them.
Cherry is going to find a route right through the pack, just navigating her way through there.
Brides out in front. Coming back to the pack. Can the bride score some points? The draggers are holding. Oh, breaks through and calls it off. Oh,
Cherry
it's still
watching
going.
and then calls it off.
I thought I saw it. You know, sometimes you got to wait to the whistle. That's why you got to wait for the whistle. Don't trust the announcer. They don't know what they're doing.
Now we're lining up for our next jam, and it's going to be another power jam for the Runaway
power
Brides.
jam
The brides have another
for
power jam.
The brides.
Hollywood this time for the Runaway Brides is at the jammer line. I think Cherry Kisses and Hollywood gives the old Amelia Bearhart stomp. We see you, Tilted Thunder. Hollywood is ready to go. So, blocked off to the infield off the outset, and now able to get by along the inside and get clear past that last blocker for the Draggers.
Ooh, I like that skate, that crossover.
And Hollywood's going to weave around a couple of blockers
Oh.
up to the high
Oh.
side and fights through
Oh.
a block. That was
Oh.
Antifa, but gets some help now. Those three blockers at the front of the pack are holding strong, now have to let Hollywood go. So 20 seconds left on the power jam, and here comes Hollywood. Coffin Draggers were able to break the offense and try to move forward at least a little bit. 9 seconds, 7 seconds. Hollywood is going to stay upright and maneuver through the pack and lets the clock expire on the power jam.
Zuba.
Listening in for penalties. Yep, everybody looks like they're staying up. Okay.
Okay, we're in.
All right, Evil Twin for the Runaway Brides, and that's going to be Strange for the Coffin Draggers. That was a 10-point jam for the Brides. Brides at this point are doubled up on the Coffin Draggers, 128-64.
Strange took the panty off their head. What are they doing?
Evil Twin fighting through those blockers, trying to not run into her own blocker, and gets out of the pack.
Nice.
So now mid-pack, they're trying to get their jammer out. Evil Twin is down to the inside, runs squarely into that pivot for the Coffin Draggers, and now has to wait, reestablish behind that blocker. Another big block by Dolly Spartan, but this one Evil Twin's able to absorb and keep going. That's going to be Strange up there now, is still trying to fight clear for the Coffin Draggers and get out of the pack. Draggers only have 2 blockers, though, with which to operate. Evil Twin now is going to run into that blocker of the Draggers and gets blocked off to the infield. Good effort there at the front of the pack by those 2 blockers of the Coffin Draggers to slow down the jammer for the Brides, Evil Twin. All right, so another 1.5 scoring pass effort from the Brides. 8 points for the Runaway Brides. 3 minutes or so to go until the end of the third quarter. This is going to be Sandra Slay O'Connor for the Runaway Brides, and that is All of You Die for the Coffin Draggers. They get underway. And Olive finds an opening along the inside and is able to dash to the front once again. A very, very quick first step by Olive, as you've mentioned, very fast skater. And Olive right around the outside. So Olive finishing off a scoring pass. They've got the jammer for the Brides, Sandra Slay O'Connor, pinned at the back of the pack.
She said, hold my skate. I need some points here. Excuse me just a second. Okay. Zippity-doo-dah-day. I see you. I see you, 96. I see you.
So Olive with a very slick pass along the rail right in front of the fans. Getting past those last couple of blockers and puts 10 points on the board for the Coffin Draggers. There'll be about 2 minutes to go until the end of the third quarter when this jam starts. That's Cherry Kiss once again for the Runaway Brides.
Number 4 for the Runaway Brides, being the lead jammer. And Dolly Spartan.
It's always awkward when the music drops while you're waiting for the whistle.
It's so
Just
serious.
Dead silence. Cherry Kiss around the outside quickly gets clear for the Runaway Brides.
Runaway Brides out front. Number 4.
Dolly took a tumble there at the back of the pack and is still trying to get through.
Coming back. She said, hold my purse. I'm coming through. I'm a Runaway Bride.
Star was passed forward. I saw that signal from Dolly waiting to take the star over. Excuse me, that's Pee Wee Vermin taking over, not Dolly Spartan. Pee Wee Vermin taking over as jammer for the Coffin Draggers. So Cherry Kiss now mid-pack. Finishes off that scoring pass, looks around, gets her bearings, and is trying to wait until there was waiting for less than a minute to be remaining.
That's
off
smart.
Of the quarter clock.
That was a time move.
It was a time move, yeah. You were right. I was going to say, waiting for it to drop below 1 minute. So the Brides are already shifting into clock killing mode, and this is what they really. You think they're good at defense? Oh, sorry, 1 second. Sorry. There it is 9 for the Brides, is what it was. There we go. 9 points for the Brides. Okay, 29 seconds left in the third quarter. And as we mentioned, though, yeah, the Brides really, really, really good at burning clock. As good as they are at defense and everything else, at burning clock, once they have a lead, they're really good at. So this should be the last jam of the third quarter, more than likely. That's All of You Die for the Draggers. Your Brides,
All
jammer.
of You Die out front, the lead jammer. This is the final play of this quarter.
It is
How many
indeed.
points can she grab?
Jammer for the Brides.
And
is
she's
still-
around the pack. And she's around the pack. Headed out front. Headed out front. Yo, get to your feet. Get to your feet.
That's Full Metal Anarchist was jamming for the Brides. This took a while for them to get into view.
Draggers.
Olive now along the inside
Watch
finishes
out.
another scoring
Watch
pass.
out.
Star has been handed forward for the Brides, but they're going to just line up and play defense. The crowd is going crazy for All of You Die right now. Olive up into
booty
the
out
high
first.
side.
Here we go. Here we go. Let's go. Coffin Draggers. Coffin Draggers calls it off. Whoa. It's anybody's game here at the Arizona Derby Dames Championship bout. Whoa.
I'm going to check for the score from the infield. 15 points up on the board for the Coffin Draggers in a regular strength jam. So the Coffin Draggers making some noise at the end of the quarter and signaling that they're not going anywhere anytime soon.
They said we are
145.
here. The coffin is open.
All right, into the quarter break we go. I see Sid.
Oh, hey, get your raffle tickets out. Thank you all so much for supporting Arizona Derby Dames. All your money goes to help us keep the lights on, support the league. We thank you all so much for heading to the merch booth, the snack bar, supporting the league by grabbing those merchandise items as well as our incredible snacks over there. Thank you so much for grabbing that cup.
All right, Runaway Brides are going to try to protect this lead, and as I have said a couple of times, they're good at a lot of things. Protecting a lead is probably one of the things they're absolutely best at. So they know what they're doing. They've won 6 titles for a reason. The Draggers know what's ahead of them, obviously, and they're going to get on it right now. That is Dolly Spartan for the Draggers is up to the front of the pack. Cherry Kiss gets blocked off. Very game blocking there at the back.
This is the final quarter, 15 minutes.
Yeah, that wall of defenders for the Runaway Brides not letting Dolly through. They part to let Cherry pass. Dolly now just trying to get clear. The Brides are very content to just try to keep Dolly in, but she does end up getting out of the pack. Good block there from the pivot for the Coffin Draggers to spring Dolly Spartan. So now Cherry is going to run up, gets blocked into the rail at the back of the pack. That was Embezzlement and Zora La Bruja at the back of the pack. Stopping up Cherry and knocking her to the infield. Had to get up quick to reestablish and call it off. All right, we got an official timeout. Hey, listen, second time we've had to mention this, everybody, but one of our photographers, the fantastic Zona, popped up here. Got to stay out of the area up against the track. You have to stay behind the yellow line. Anyway, just had to mention, I love that Bender came up here and just told the eyes in the sky, you guys are killing it, and that was it. Just his official duty as head ref. Anyway, no, during game action, make sure you stay behind that yellow line around the track. The photographers and the outside pack refs and people that are part of the league, know that they can be in there during game action. If you don't know if you can be in there, you can't.
If you
So-
can't see yellow, there's a line. Don't go past that line.
That's right.
There's
So-
one line.
That is really for everybody's safety to keep us seriously, like we don't want anybody to get clocked in the back of the head by a roller skate. Come on now. All right, we're back to the action. There was 2 points for both sides after that official timeout to discuss it. So, Runaway Brides burn a lot of time off the clock, and that I'm sure had them plenty happy. This is going to be Sandra Slay O'Connor for the Runaway Brides, and Olive You Die for the Draggers, and Olive is now to the front of the pack. Trying to get clear, and Olive is able to get those blockers pushed out of play, so the blockers had to let her go on through.
The Coffin Draggers jammer out in front, number 96.
So the Draggers need to get out, get lead jam, and start hacking away at these points in large swaths.
Big pile up. Great block by the Brides. The Draggers get around. Oh, a little hip toss.
And wow, that was an excellent block by Hollywood, just knocking All of You Die, just clipping her on the way by and knocking her off balance to where she fell off the track. Excellent strategic blocking by Hollywood. You would expect nothing less out of one of the premier skaters in the league. And dare I say nation. Dare I say.
Dare it.
Dare I
Dare
say.
it.
Dare.
Dare
I
it.
I dared. I dared say Hollywood is one of the best in the
Let's
nation.
compare the stats.
So, that is 5 for the Draggers, though. Draggers, again, want to get out, get lead jam, and start chipping away at the lead as best they can. That's going to be Strange for the Draggers. Cherry Kiss for the Runaway Brides. One blocker sits. We've got a full complement of blockers for the Coffin Draggers. Took a little while. Everybody's checking. Now we're underway. So, Cherry Kiss is going to get kind of tied up in a big cluster of Draggers blockers. Now up to the rail, trying to get clear. Jammer for the Draggers is Strange. Star is off. Is going to try to just bully right through Lightning, and Lightning is up to the challenge. Strange gets spun down towards the infield as Cherry Kiss goes blasting by. Now Zora La Bruja tries to open a door, tries to block Lightning, but is shoved off to the infield instead. Strange trying to get up. Here comes Cherry. On the first scoring pass to the Brides, Strange tries to throw a block, but Cherry is able to get through the pack largely unscathed.
Brides jam out in front. Now it's time to score more points. They said we're not running the clock out. We're grabbing points here.
Cherry Kiss now coming around. And now springing clear along the inside is Strange to try to keep this at this second scoring pass for Cherry Kiss and not allow any further points. Draggers defense is trying to stay in there, and Cherry's going to get up and call it off. So, chalk that one up to the Brides. 8 points for the Brides there, keeping their lead where it was.
We're 43 jams in, y'all. 43 jams in. We've
got another official timeout, so they're going to talk that over. 11:06 to go in the game. 11:06 to go in regulation. 155.96 at the moment.
I want to take a moment and thank you all so much. You all brought the energy. You all brought the support and love to this incredible league and this community. Thank you all for coming out. Continue to support this league. Make some noise for yourselves, incredible fans, this evening. Yeah, you did it. Y'all are great. And some of you made signs. Oh. Shh, be quiet. I don't want to get yelled at. Sometimes I got to be quiet.
So, ready. Oh, looks like we.
Oh, is it official?
Got, oh, okay. Benches they're gonna discuss something with the benches momentarily. So something that the regulators just discussed. So just a moment here, I'm sure. Hey, listen, I also wanted to take a second. Can I get a cheer for the league rookies that are here working this evening?
Come
Let's
on,
get a cheer up for the
rookies!
rookies. Our league rookies help every bout go, and they do all the unfun stuff like rolling the hand washer out and taking the garbage out, all that kind of stuff.
Sitting at the front and
Yeah.
saying
We love
hello
our
on
league
a
rookies.
Saturday.
And then we love it when they make teams and then they skate and we get to cheer for them, you know. That's always fun.
Okay, the rookie league, they're just new at it, right?
Yeah, exactly. So skaters might if they're transitioning from flat track, might go through rookie program. You know, it depends on your skating experience, but there is I think it's like 2 levels with like a graduate program now, I think. But yeah, it's a It's about an 8-month process.
Oh,
from
yeah,
tryout
of course,
to draft.
of course.
Right.
It's not you can just jump in unless you've learned,
exactly. So, but yeah, when they had they have tryouts twice a year, and that'll all be announced
Oh, nice.
over the summer. All right, back to the action. 11:06 in regulation here at the title bout. 155.96. The Brides are in front.
Just a little over 11 minutes to go.
There we go. That's Evil Twin for the Brides, and All of You Die for the Coffin Draggers. Olive tries to get around Lightning on the inside, tries to do it again. Now going to get help from a blocker. We've got Evil Twin is at the back of the pack and getting blocked down as Olive is able to get around the outside. So Coffin Draggers need lead jams and need a lot of them. Olive is out. Evil Twin still pinned at the back of the pack. At least gets up there and does cause Olive to have to break stride, which does slow her down. She gets blocked off hard to the infield by Lightning. So honestly, that was a great move by Evil Twin, even though she didn't make contact.
Did it have a name to it, that move?
I would just say just being an obstacle.
Turn around and scoot.
So there is the end of the jam. Lightning calls it off.
Be an obstacle. I like that. I could be an obstacle.
Yeah, I could be an obstacle too.
I could be a problem as well.
So 5 points for the Draggers. Draggers have pushed up over 100 for the bout. Still holding at about the same lead, 155-101. This is going to be Angel of Beth out there for the Coffin Draggers for the first time. Your
Here they
blocker
go.
extraordinaire is going to jam. And that's Sandra Slay O'Connor jamming for the Runaway Brides, one of my favorite pivots out there jamming. So quickly to the front of the pack goes Angel of Beth and gets blocked to the rail by Hollywood. Now the rest of the pack kind of catches up. Sandy's at the back of the pack and is now going to fight through to try to help with the defense, but gets blocked to the inside. Remy Ruckus goes up over Full Metal Anarchist. Several Brides down at once. And Angel of Beth fights through at the front of the pack. So 23 seconds left in this jam. Angel of Beth is out for the Coffin Draggers. Once again, it's what they need. They need lead jams and they need some second passes. Now Beth is looking to the low side. Hard shoulder from Hollywood up here in the corner. Angel of Beth takes a tumble and gets behind that solid 4 wall of Brides blockers. And the clock expires on the jam. So
Was that Angel of Death's first time being a jammer?
that was Angel of Beth's first time jamming.
All right, I like that.
That is right. So we've got another official timeout. This is going to be Lollipop. You're about to see another first-time jammer for the Coffin Draggers.
I like
What
that.
this tells me, as a longtime viewer of roller derby, is that they've had some of their jammers have started fouling out. After 7 penalties, you foul out.
Oh, foul out, dang.
So after 7
I
penalties,
didn't know you could
yeah.
foul out.
Yeah. So it doesn't. A lot of times, like in our home team bouts, a lot. It doesn't use. You don't usually. It's usually blockers.
Oh yeah,
is the
okay.
thing. And so you kind of don't perceive it because the
jammer.
You don't see the people in the pack as
Right.
often. It's really evident when you start seeing different jammers for the first time late in a game like this.
Mhm.
Is that either? I mean, they must be running out of the people that they were originally sending up. Is kind of how you're looking at it. So obviously you've seen how many jammer penalties they've had. They've given up a lot of power jams. It would track that they're starting to have some penalty problems with their jammers.
But the jammers that they put in that haven't been in before are really doing it for the team. They're pulling their weight and
Yeah,
making
you saw
it happen.
Angela Beth had an extremely good jam
I
right
love
there.
that.
Put 4 up.
What a great team.
And now heading back out, as I
Here
said,
comes the Brides, ready.
another first-time jammer for the Coffin Draggers. That's number 710, Mo Fasta. Mo's got a big old following.
Number 4 over
Both
at the
here and with
Brides.
Phoenix RD. Mo skates mini tracks.
Now, is there a reason why one starts back further than the other?
That's a Cherry Kiss thing.
Oh, cherry kiss
Cherry
thing.
just likes to
course.
start back there.
Of course, it's a cherry kiss
It
thing.
is. And Mo along the inside gets blocked off and has to get back up and reestablish behind that pivot. Almost got
Oh.
cleared. Cherry Kiss
She has
took
the
star
panty
off
in the
and
hand.
dropped it.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
she doesn't drop that. Hold on to that panty.
And now Cherry is going to race through along the inside and is, in fact, going to get clear for the Brides. Mo is up at the back of the pack.
Cherry Kiss is an incredible skater. I love watching how fast they go.
Yeah, Cherry is, again, one of the premier skaters in our league as well. And now trying to get clear. Mo is trying to kind of bully to the front. The star has been passed to Hugs and Stitches, who gets blocked off almost incidentally by Cherry Kiss passing in front of her. Wow. 17 seconds left in this jam, and Cherry Kiss now is coming around for more points. Runaway Brides are looking for jams like this, full 60 seconds, and them in control.
Yep, that's how they're scoring all their points.
There is another scoring pass. Had some blocking at the back of the pack.
Wow.
Had
Great
the
jam, great jam.
Another very good jam for the Runaway Brides. All right, I'm hearing a penalty coming in. There's going to be a timeout of some kind. It is a team timeout. That would be a team timeout, Runaway Brides. Timeout white. So, Runaway Brides have used their first second half timeout, 165-105. They just put 10 points on the board. So they're going to talk over some strategy. We are squarely right halfway through the final quarter of regulation at this moment. It has been an absolute pleasure to announce with you, Gaba, this evening, as it always is.
Oh my gosh, I get invited back, and I absolutely take it. There's no other place to be. The energy is so fire.
Yeah, I really like being here as a fan of the sport, and I'll tell anybody that they should come check it out. You know, it really is a lot of fun being here. I see Shirley Temple of Doom is heading down. Hold those, there we go. Shirley Temple of Doom's heading by with the silent auction sheets. If anybody wants to take a look at those and make a pass at the tattoo for, the tattoo from Lost Dutchman Tattoo and the tattoo gift certificate from Raya Riot. Tattooing performed by our very own Murder Mittens, who is here skating this evening for the Coffin Draggers. So, make bids on that. We'll bring you the winners of those towards the end of the bout. We are back to the action. It is going to be a power jam for the Coffin Draggers. That's all of you die at the jammer line for the Coffin Draggers. This could really be a make or break moment. The Coffin Draggers, however, are down one block. No, they're not. Full pack. Full pack. Both teams have all four blockers. So really becomes a chess match down in there as Olive's going to get to the front quickly. And is going to get fought down to the inside, and now Lightning's going to turn around and try to get back to the front of the pack. Olive is going to get around a skater, now trying to fight past Remy Ruckus. Lightning again is going to close Olive off, and then Remy delivering one heck of a block down along the inside. Remy clearing it. Olive down hard on the infield. Half the power jam is gone. The Runaway Brides have been up to the task so far. Olive blocked off again. Lightning McQueen screeching to a halt and staying upright, not coming off to the infield to keep that block legal. And Olive now is going to try to race around the outside and still can't quite get there. Closing the door, that was Baby at the front of the pack.
Hey!
And the clock's going to expire. Olive's not out, so Olive cannot yet call it off. Those defenders from the Brides, all four of those defenders have hands on hips and are puffing for air. That was an effort by the Runaway Brides, and that's a cheer for defense from the crowd. Runaway Brides emphatically making a statement here late in the game, protecting that lead at the moment. We have Evil Twin at the jammer line for the Runaway Brides. That's Dolly Spartan for the Coffin Draggers.
Can't deny that defense. Can't deny that last play.
It is absolutely, like I said, when they go to put their shoulder into an opponent, they can grind their opponent into dust. That is something that I have commented on many times while watching other sports. I have commented and said that defense is Runaway Bridesian. Like when they buckle down like they are doing at the moment, and there goes Evil Twin getting out of the pack for the Brides. They are really a force to be reckoned with.
I wonder if they go into like the supermarket and like practice and like box people out in the frozen aisle section together.
That's right. This is a 10 items or less. Boom.
Boom.
Here comes Evil Twin for the Brides. And again, the Brides at this point are really more content to just let the clock run. Evil Twin is caught up to the pack and is kind of checking around, watching for instructions from the Runaway Brides bench. Dolly Spartan is going to play jammer defense. They're trying to not let Evil Twin out. And that will do it. The clock is blown dead. So 3 points for the Brides, 168-105.
3 minutes, 50 seconds remain in the fourth quarter. We'll get an updated score here in just a moment.
Underway.
168-105 Brides in the lead.
4.5 minutes left in regulation. The Runaway Brides are trying to close the door here late in the game, and that's All of You Die getting out of the pack for the Coffin Draggers. The cheer from the crowd.
She's staying low. She's ready.
We've always said that anything is possible. We have seen teams come back from a 60-point deficit in the fourth quarter. Trust me.
To that last second.
That's right. So All of You Die gets through the pack. Now some instruction from the back of the pack. Sandra Slay O'Connor. Pivot tendencies die hard. There goes Olive along the inside. Full Metal Anarchist. Full Metal Anarchist with a good block. Olive stays upright and calls it off.
Oh, that's some skating.
So the Coffin Draggers need a lot more of that. That is going to be a 10-point jam for the Coffin Draggers. So there's going to be about 3 minutes and 25 seconds left in regulation.
Ooh, my skin, I got goosebumps.
I know. We are down to the late moments of this one. Ready to go. That is Cherry Kiss for the Brides once again. That's Dolly Spartan for the Coffin Draggers. Cherry is bouncing all over the place and now down to the infield. Dolly is up against Remy Ruckus and now gets a running start, trying to get by Lightning and cannot get there. Lightning closes the door. Big tumble there. That was Baby who took a fall, and that is Dolly Spartan getting out for the Coffin Draggers.
This is where Dolly really thrives in this moment right here, the high-pressure moments.
Star pass forward for the Runaway Brides. Lightning McQueen taking over as jammer. They're going to try to keep this to one scoring pass for Dolly, and they do so. Lightning started to put the star on and then didn't have to finish with that. Sprung off, slid down the track.
Great
No
play,
harm, no
great
foul.
play, Brides. Great play. Great play.
So 5 points for the Coffin Draggers. We're going to have a timeout of some fashion. It is team timeout.
Team
Runaway Brides.
time out. Runaway Brides.
Runaway Brides have used their final team
timeout.
timeout. So 2:25 to go in regulation, 168 to 120. The Runaway Brides are in front. We should let you know how penalty jams work.
Yeah, teach me.
At the end of the bout, if the team who is behind skates with no penalties, and the team who is ahead
on the final jam.
And if the team that's ahead does get a penalty, then we will have overtime jams, and the team that's behind can keep doing that if they can skate penalty free. So that's
as long as they keep winning the jam,
as long as
they're
as
penalty
they
free.
keep not getting any penalties, and the other team does.
Do they consider that overtime?
Sort of.
Oh, okay.
A little bit. It's a little bit like overtime. It's like But what you'll see is you're going to see the Runaway Brides in the last couple of jams skating basically like they don't want to touch anyone because they're going to be trying to not get any penalties. You're going to see that developing here as we come out of this timeout.
They don't want sweat on them. They want to win.
So all right, once again we're back to
3, 4 Brides out. 4
So
Coffin
we've
Draggers.
got Hugs and Stitches is out there for the Coffin Draggers, and that's Sandra Slay O'Connor for the Runaway Brides.
Both teams thrive in this high pressure environment.
Stitches starts off by kind of angling Sandy down off the track, and Sandy gets parked behind a couple of blockers for the Draggers. Brides defense at the front, still up to the task, of course. And now they're still trying to get Stitches clear, but that three wall of defenders at the front of the pack has been strong. And there goes Sandy now. Sandy was able to break that defensive stalemate at the back of the pack, and Sandra Slay O'Connor is out for the Brides. Sandy is going to make sure that the Brides dictate the pace of play here as we head into the late going.
Is that their first time jamming?
Sandy has jammed a few times.
Couple times, okay.
Yes, and now is going to get around and able to get past that last blocker. Olive making sure, could have been out of play, so making sure not to get a penalty. Couple of tumbles. Sandy
infield.
coming around for a third crack at this, as Stitches now is going to try to get out still. Time is going to expire on that jam before Sandy can get around, but that's exactly what the Runaway Brides were looking for. Something along those lines. A nice solid 5-point jam and a lot of time off the clock. So by the time this next jam starts, this could be the last jam of regulation of the championship bout. We're going to have to see, and we have dropped under a minute, and we're going to have, hold on, a challenge.
Oh, we got a challenge!
All right. So Coach Troy McClure has called the challenge. Runaway Brides are going to be challenging something that happened there in that previous
Something
jam.
that was game related.
Exactly. So we will find out what that is. I do see. So here we go. So I do see their jammer in the penalty box. And now that would make sense. You might say, why would they challenge it?
Why?
Because you don't want to give up a power jam that could go 20 points and then get a penalty jam and then bar.
And you got one challenge.
You got it. Why not use it?
And you're already ahead.
Exactly.
And why not stop the clock?
The coach of the Doomsday Valkyries, Infidel Castro, and I, and Troy McClure, I have talked to Troy at after parties. We all agree on this. Unused timeouts, you can't bequeath them to your family if you die.
Why?
Exactly. So you got to use
them.
Why not? So exactly. So why not challenge this penalty right here and see if they can have this last jam be even strength? That's what we're looking at.
And we got 55 seconds, 60 seconds on the final jam. So this is essentially could be our final jam.
This very well could be our last jam in regulation. So we're going to wait and see. We want to remind you one last time here before we get to the last jam or two of the game. At the after party is at George and Dragon English Pub. There's lots of parking right up behind it. It's at Central and Indian School. You can nab it. That is where the after party is. Let me get off the horn. Wait.
GG!
You just contradicted yourself. Penalty was overturned, right? Okay, thank you. That's all right.
No. I heard you correct. Challenge was not successful.
No, it was.
Oh, was successful. Okay, was.
Challenge was successful. The penalty does not stand. Is that correct? No.
No.
GG. Okay, I'm sorry. The challenge was not successful. The penalty does stand. Thank you.
Let's say
All
that
right,
clearly
now we
one more
got it.
time. Clear one more time.
Challenge was not successful.
Not successful.
Penalty stands on the jammer.
Everything stands.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is, honestly, for a single header bout, it sure has been a long night. It has been action-packed up here.
Our refs are doing an incredible job. Give it up for our refs tonight.
That's right. Let's hear it for the regulators, our volunteer medics, everybody that puts the bout on. So, this will then be a power jam for the Coffin Draggers. And as we said, if they can also skate penalty-free, and if the Runaway Brides get a penalty, then there could be penalty jams. Let's see. All of you die at the jammer line.
Everyone
We'll
get
know a
nice
lot
and
more
loud.
in about 60 seconds.
Scream your team.
So Olive, block to the inside. Cherry Kiss out there playing some defense. Olive now is going to get to the front and is going to get past Lightning. Able to get by Lightning. Goes to the inside that time. Lightning has been closing the door so well up on the rail, and I wondered if somebody was going to try the inside. Olive does and gets clear. We've got 35 seconds left in this power jam, and Olive now up to the wall at the front of the pack. Big block at the front of the pack by Astrothought. Just sapped all of the momentum for All of You Die. And a big block, Astrothought down to the inside. Both blockers back up for the Brides as Olive's trying to get by Lightning, and Lightning's out of play, so Olive finishes that scoring pass. 13 seconds left on the power jam. Olive's got time to get around for another attempt.
No
at
penalties
this.
called so far.
We will hope. We'll have to see. Olive dodges a blocker up to the high side, gets blocked off by those blockers, and the clock is going to expire.
Oh, we have to wait till afterward.
So now we gotta wait. So now we gotta
oh
wait.
My
we gotta
goodness.
wait for the points, and then we gotta wait for the penalties.
What's the official? Let's listen.
That's an 8-point jam for the Coffin Draggers. 8-point power jam. So 173, 128. Let us see
Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous.
how we're looking. Checking to see the penalties. We're waiting to see. I got scribbling on the whiteboard. We're waiting to see if that's going to do it. We'll announce it momentarily once we get the final whistle. Like I said, we're at the end of regulation, and we're just checking to see if there will be any penalty jams. everybody's double checking and making sure it's all correct at this point.
Triple check that.
Triple checking and making sure it's all good.
This is for the 2025
This
Arizona
is.
Derby Dames Championship. After
now
all,
we've got a moment. We're checking in. We're triple checking, making
Take
sure
a
the
moment.
outside pack referees are good. They stand down there at the ends of the straightaways. So, head referee Bender B. Rodriguez coming back around now. Signal and signal. We're checking in. Here comes the whistle. That's going to do it.
the winners of the 2025 Arizona Derby Day Champions, the Arizona Runaway Brides. Let's go, Queens. Let's go. Congratulations.
Runaway Brides once again are victorious. The 7th straight league season, the Runaway Brides have ended on top. And once again, if you want to get to the throne here at the Hall of Dames, you're going to have to knock the Brides off
them.
That is right.
The Bride said, not today in 2025.
Here they come around.
Yes!
One more time.
Great game.
Excellent
Great game.
all around
Great
effort,
game.
all phases
Wonderful
of the game.
job.
Offense, defense, special teams. Fantastic all around effort throughout.
Let's
And let's hear it for the Coffin Draggers.
Yes, Coffin Draggers, great job.
That's
Y'all
the-
make some noise.
That's the
You
Coffin-
worked hard. You worked hard. Great job getting to the championship bout. We appreciate you. Great job, athletes. Great job.
That is the Coffin Draggers' best league finish, and as we said, over 10 years. That is
10.
fantastic.
They're
to
going to be
see.
out ready. They're going to be ready.
They'll be ready to come back next year. So that does it. We are going to give away our last prizes here, of course. Raffle, our last
So if you're
raffle
still
prize.
here, please grab your raffle tickets for the Tucci's Touch $120 massage.
All right,
Thank
make
you
a hoot
so
and holler.
much.
We're going to give this one away if the person has left. Here we go.
This is going to be 587050. Last 4 7050. Make some noise if you won.
You got Tucci's Touch winner, all right.
Over there, that's where
I
you go.
hear
Thank
one.
you so much.
Okay, and let's
Let's
all right.
not forget our silent
and
auctions
let's
here
read our
this
winners.
evening.
Let's read our 2 winners. For the silent auction, winner of the Rhea Riot tattoo is Rachel Cowart. Rachel Cowart is the winner of the Rhea Riot tattoo. So, all right, Nikki says that she knows who that person is.
And I would
so
like
see
to
Nikki.
congratulate Mandy Smith for winning the $400 gift certificate to Lost Dutchman Tattoo. Mandy Smith.
Yeah, Mandy Smith. Nikki says, come on up here. We've been telling you all night to go somewhere else. But Mandy Smith and Rachel Coward, if you would come up here to see us and Nikki will take care of you all with that.
Thank you, Mandy Smith.
Team photo down here in the peak of the corner for the Runaway Brides. Let's get one more cheer for your league champion, Runaway Brides.
Thank you. Make some noise for yourselves, incredible audience. What a great, great season. It has been my pleasure. I am Gabagool.
I'm Clofton P. Grudge. That is it for this evening. Battle on the Bank is coming up here at this very arena. It's the national championship, and the Hot Shots from Arizona are going to defend their national title here on home turf.
Let's go.
End of this month, end of May. Check with us for more details. Drive safely. Have a wonderful evening.